Hello, everyone. So, Professor Smith here. I am going to show you how to use Slack. And through this video, you will know basics of how to use Slack, which is a communications application that is used in a lot of places throughout business. So it's also been picked up as a communication application for newsrooms commonly. So it's important that we learn how to communicate through this and work Slack for our own organizational purposes. So I'm going to share my screen. And we will just go through a few basics on how to use Slack. So if you open up Slack, this is the desktop. You can also have it as a mobile app, which I probably use my mobile app more than I even use my desktop. So I would suggest that you download it on your phone, and that way you don't have to always be at a desktop. And it's pretty simple. It's just right here. So everything that you see. So we have the Maroon Tiger Slack. If you ever are logged out, you can just simply go to this URL right here, themaroontiger.slack.com, and log back in. If you forget your password, you can reset your password. Not a problem. So once you are logged in, this is what it looks like. Again, this is desktop version, the Maroon Tiger. So I'll show you a few things. Number one, channels. So channels are just different areas for conversation. It's segmented so that you don't essentially have everyone talking about everything in one place. Instead, we can break it up so that when someone's talking about a particular thing, we can go to that channel and we can have a conversation about that particular thing. So we've set up a few channels, but you can always join a channel, you can leave a channel, you can add a channel. And here, if you click this plus button, you can see all the channels that are available to you. And if you realize there's a need for a channel, you can add a channel. So perhaps you want a resources channel, something that you just want to dump something in for people to know how to use a different application, or you found something cool and you just want to share those resources, you can create a channel for that. So that's what channels are. It's different places that have different conversations, segmentation essentially. And then once you're in a channel, we can see that we've been having conversations in certain channels, maybe not so much others yet. Once you're in a channel, you can do certain things. So for example, I can see the purpose of channels. I can see who's in the channel, and I can see, what's connected to channels. Integrations, meaning like perhaps I want to use Zoom in the body within Slack. I can add those things. So things like that. And then you can see again up here who's in the channel. We see that we can view all the members. We have 33 people in the channel. In this particular channel, general just means it's just about as a catch-all, anything for anyone. And as you use it, here's the main thing at the bottom right here is how you send messages, right? So typing this message. So I'll just put something, for example, maybe that's my message to everyone. And it's just like a word processing system. You can bold things if you want. So I can bold something, I can italicize something, I can strike through something, I can even link something, right? So maybe I want this, I'm saying something about abortion rights. And there's a really an article that I was reading about abortion rights on CNN, and I just want to link it. Instead of providing the whole link, I can just link this in Slack. So maybe link the words. Maybe I just want the word rights. And then save, and then boom, it's linked. Again, you can do things like, and there's your link. You can have an organized list, 1, 2, 3. You can have bullets. You can do a block quote. You can do all those kind of things. So this is just essentially, like a word processing system, like Word. Also, down here, this is where you send messages. So, example message, and I can either hit enter or I can hit send. Or I can even schedule for later. So maybe you don't want to send it at this moment, that message at this moment, and this is for all the channels. I don't want to send this message. I want to send it at Monday at 9 a.m. so I'm not interrupting people on the weekend. Then you can do that. As I mentioned before, you can see who's in this channel, but as you can see right here, this one's just because I happen to be talking to our editor-in-chief, Elliot. But when you you can look up anybody's profile. I encourage you all to update your profile. So here we have Amir, and here's his picture. It says that he's not on Slack right now. It tells me what local time he's in. So maybe some people are on the West Coast or something. And it gives me his contact information that he added. So I can, at any point, I can message him if I needed to. And if I needed to know more information, I can look at his email. So there you go. Let's go back over here at the top. I'll explain to you a few things. Number one, threads. Threads means that you are included in it, in the message or the messages, or it means that somebody has specifically called out your name. So if I'm included in it, except for example, channel is a command that tells everyone in that particular channel, again, here's your channels, a message. It sends everybody the message. So I'm part of this. I sent this message. And then you can see here, people are responding to me, and I can see what thread I was in. I can see what channel this is in. This is in content creation. It was between me and Justin. This was in the general channel. This was sent by Elliot. Was a part of that thread. So it just tells you the conversations that you're in. You can also use direct messages, right? So if I want to directly contact someone, I can either do it up here and type their name. So I'll use Elliot for an example. And then I can just start to directly message Elliot down here at messages, like always. Or I can do here, if you look at the screen on your left, it says direct messages. I can always look for somebody if I start a direct message there as well. And these are people I've recently messaged, right? So I don't always have to hit the plus button or up here look for direct messages. If it's somebody I'm constantly talking to, let's say Elliot again, then I just click down here and I can start messaging him. Message Elliot. All right. So let's go back up. And so we talked about threads. We talked about direct messages, ats and reactions. This is when someone has mentioned me at, right? Or reactions would be when somebody gives you an emoji, a thumbs up. So we'll go through that as well. But you can see when somebody's reacted to your messages or messages that is mentioning you. So for example, if I want to say, let's see, have a reaction here on this message, I can either find a reaction, right? So it's your normal emojis, all these emojis right here. And you can pick whatever emoji you want. You know, maybe I got the job done. So, or I understood what you said, or I'm really sad that you feel sick, and I just put that. And here we go down here, it drops the reaction. You can actually customize your reactions for skin tone. I've used brown since I'm a brown girl, but that's up to you. And then anytime someone mentions you or anytime someone reacts to things that mentions you or that you're a part of, it will show up right here. The fourth thing I'll mention is drafts. So drafts would be if you started to write something, you didn't send it, it will save your drafts until you delete it. So right here, I said message Elliot. I can either delete the draft, I can edit the draft, I can go back to it if I want, right? Or I can schedule it. Maybe I like the message, I just want to send it in the future, or I can just hit send and it'll send it at that time. So there's your draft, right? I think for the most part, that's everything you need to know. That's immediate. The only other things I'll mention is how to talk to people. So I'll use the random channel for that since no one really has used that yet. So I can see again who's in the channel. I can message, if I want to message everyone, I do at, and you can have two options. Channel, which will message everyone at the channel that moment. So here's your message. And I can send it, which I won't send it at this time because it will ping all of you. And it will send it to everyone. Or if I only want to message people who are currently functioning and working in Slack, I can say add here. And it's notify every online member of this channel. So it's only people who are actually working in the application at the time. So if you want to use channel, whether they are signed in or not, they will get a notification. That's how it messages people. That's how it notifies people. Or at here, it will send a notification to people actually working in Slack at the time. So that's at. And then again, there are certain fun commands, like if you want to find a fun GIF, you can do that. And you can look for ways to express yourself through GIFs. So maybe dance. Oh, no. Actually, we don't have the integration. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, I'll work on that. Anyway, I think that's about all you need. The only thing I would also suggest is to use Slack channels the way that they're intended to be used. So here's the thing, when you dump everything in one channel, it's hard to find things, right? So maybe it's 2 months ago, somebody make a recommendation to you and you finally want to get around to it. And you have to scroll. If you actually put things in different channels where they're supposed to be, it'll be just easier for people to find. Also, you can search Slack. This is not like Google where you just add your keyword. It's full of commands. So you have to tell it Slack where to look and who to look for or what to look for. So you can tell Slack, I'm searching for it in messages. So that's these meaning direct messages. That's the ones at the bottom. I'm looking for a particular file. I need to look in a certain channel. I need to look among conversations among certain people. So you can always say, you know, you'll learn the commands, which I'll send you, but maybe it's in, right? Maybe it's in the general channel, and then I would just write in : no spaces, and then look in general, and then space, type my keyword, what I was looking for. So maybe I was looking for, Elliot said something about a meeting. So boom, I type in meeting and it gives me in the general channel all of the messages that contain the word meeting, and it will, that way it will filter it something with you. But you can say you can do different commands like who is from, right? So maybe I sent a message. Maybe someone sent a message to me and I can't find it. It's from maybe Professor Thomas or from Elliot or from Kobe or from Miles. I can start there. And I know that. And so then I can look for the word, a keyword that might help me identify what we were talking about. It can be in a channel. It can be from a person. It can, if I sent it to a person, I sent it to Elliot, and then we're talking about maybe Zoom. It will filter all the messages. So this is the one message that was that I sent to Elliot with the keyword Zoom, and here it was. I sent him my Zoom link. And you can even say, you know, from you had a wave or certain reactions. It gets kind of fancy, but I think those are the basics. Yes, and then you can also upload files anytime you need to. You can add a file, just like you would with a word processing system. So if I want to add an attachment, maybe it was a Word doc or something, or a press release, right? So maybe it's a press release and it's in a Word doc, then you can just upload it from your computer. You can do that. And then I suggest you all just get in Slack and play around and have some fun and get used to using this as your main communication hub. So just also remember, in Slack, a lot of times it's more than one way to do something. It's more than one way to send a direct message, right? I can send a direct message here. I can send a direct message here, down at the bottom. Or I can even look at someone's profile and then send a message to them if I want to do that. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will share this video, and I'll also will share with you a link to learning more about Slack, because there's a million and one things you can do through Slack. But once you learn the commands and how to navigate, it actually makes your life pretty easy. So I suggest it to you. Just take the time to look at that link, a guide on how to use Slack. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I am happy to help. Bye.